up, everybody? This is indeed the E-Man Channel, like a villain singing like Bob Dylan. Keep it on over some double stuff. Oh, he goes.
Uh,
And
Okay, vocals.
okay.
yeah, thank
Right.
you. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay.
that. We're just here to talk about music. Music is very important, and I wanted to bring back some people, some very incredible, talented people that I had on in the past. And I want to introduce them real quick. These three guests are very beautiful, talented ladies who are the first ladies of Crave Records, which was Mariah Carey's label. Uh, they have hits like All Cried Out featuring 112. They had Head Over Heels featuring Nas, and they're just amazing, man. They've been on my show at least no, they've been on my show twice, and
Yeah.
they have this upcoming podcast called Gag. I want to introduce the beautiful ladies of Aaliyah, Lalisha, and Akisa of Allure.
Oh,
Yay!
Hi.
And Kermit the
We
Frog. Yay! Hey, well, how you guys doing today?
we're
pretty good. We
great. How are
miss you.
you?
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
good to see you guys. And all the way over there from New
Same.
York, the weather's a little rainy today, but it's not.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
Yeah.
little gloomy.
Yes, and thank you so much for your time. My second guest who was a part of Motown's Next Brother group of the 80s and 90s, man. The boys backflipped their hearts. Sorry. The boys backflipped into the hearts of millions with their incredible dance
Not
moves.
backflip their heart. How you do that? How you backflip your heart?
Right.
uh,
Creepy.
and tumbled into the hearts of millions with hits like Lucky Charm, Crazy, and Down My Heart.
Yes.
He's the second youngest, and he currently has a new single out called Go, which is really great. It's on all streaming platforms. I want to introduce Mr. Tajh Abdul Samad, and also he was on my show back in the day. So thank you, Taj. What's up? What's going on? What's
Hey,
up?
Taj.
Peace, peace. What's up, everybody?
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time. Um, Burning question, Taj. I just want to ask real quick before I forget because I'm getting older. So, in the video Crazy, there was a girl, the main girl who you guys are all chasing. She looks so familiar. What's her name? And I forgot to ask you this on the first interview.
I don't know her last name, but her first name is Sanait. She was Ethiopian.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Hmm.
that's like one of my favorite videos, man. That video is great. Um, let's see. You guys are from
Yes.
New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're from California. And I want my first question is like, what are some of the pros and cons of staying in two of the biggest entertainment meccas at that time in the 80s and 90s when you're trying to make your way in the music industry?
Con, I would have to say is especially one since we went to a talented thrived school like LaGuardia. So it's oversaturated with talent. So where you may be like, oh, I'm it. You look to your left, your right.
Oh
You
yeah.
have an
Yeah, it's a lot
alto,
of people
soprano,
that's
a
it.
tenor that can
Yeah.
do just as, whatever you can do. But we those hopes are there because you can get on a train, go downtown, stand in front of MCA, stand in front of, all of those big record labels and possibly
Mhm.
meet at Exact or stand outside Madison Square Garden. That's a con. Well, that was a pro, but the con is it's heavily saturated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely for sure.
I
Well,
agree.
what about you? What about you, Tosh? What's your take on
Uh,
that?
well, during the time when we were coming up, LA was pretty much like the the headquarters and the center of like a lot of the major record labels. It was probably LA and New York, but definitely
Mhm.
LA was one of the major centers. And so yeah, you had everybody there. And so I mean, it was all about, you know, if you had connections, then you had a chance. Or, if you were um creative,
Mhm.
in how you were going about things, you had a chance of being discovered. And so, like me and my brothers, we started out performing at Venice Beach. And so Venice Beach was like a destination spot, hot spot for Los Angeles. People from all over the world would come to Venice Beach. And, there were a lot of people who would perform on the boardwalk at the beach. And so we were one of those groups who started out performing on the boardwalk. And that's where we got a lot of our exposure from, was performing at the beach. And we met a lot of people, got a lot of contacts, and eventually over time, we kind of parlayed those relationships to get us an opportunity to uh, audition for a few different labels, and it worked out for us.
And I remember you saying like back then, back on our previous interview, like a lot of talent, like on Venice Beach. You mentioned Michael Collier, the comedian from House Party
Oh
3.
yeah, yep,
You mentioned the V Top brothers, who were like a gymnastic and dancing group.
yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of competition, right?
Oh man, it was. I mean, it was so. The talent was so diverse. You had people who were juggling chainsaws and bowling balls and bowling pins. You had this guy named the One Man Band, and he had like a drum strapped to his back and drumsticks strapped to his elbows. He'd like play the drums while he's playing the guitar at the same
Wow.
time, and
That's
he's
crazy.
playing the bass guitar on the ground with his feet all at the same time. He's playing a full song, playing all the instruments all at one time.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Wow.
so, yeah, just amazing talent, man. Just amazing. The Vita brothers, they were acrobats and martial artists who, when they weren't performing at the beach, they were touring with Ringling Brothers, as a
Right.
circus act. And so, I mean, just amazing, amazing talent. And, everyone was doing something different. So it was like you can walk up the beach and just, you know, you see something different, with all. So it wasn't really competition, even
Right,
though we
right.
were
Correct.
we were competing for eyeballs, we were competing for,
To be seen, yeah.
attention. Yeah,
hmm
Yeah.
but for the most part, everyone was kind of doing their own thing, and yeah, it was just a amazing time, amazing time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. It seems like, especially compared to like what's going on now, it was organic because like you
hmm
had to go out there and put yourself out there on Venice Beach. It's not like now where everybody has a camera phone and you could put yourself on YouTube, which seems to be the new medium. So like, I mean, you had to go out there and audition. You had to go out there and sing in front of like you said, MCA and everything like that. It took a real effort, you know what I'm saying, to go out there and do that. Versus now, it's like anybody could go on YouTube. I mean, and anyway, um,
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah,
hmm
Technology is kind of like, like it's this guy. I've been posting uh some of his content to my stories lately, and he's like a comedian, and he does a thing where he like it's got the split screen and he's reacting to foods, people's food presentation.
Oh,
And
Okay.
oh,
yeah, and he's
yeah,
like he's talking about the food and he's like, oh, this food looks so good. And he's just cracking jokes and it's so hilarious. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's blowing up because, you know,
yeah,
he's doing it right from his phone. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But it's like, I'm
right.
sure we'll probably see him on a Tyler Perry movie sometime soon or, on some type
Right.
of series or something,
Yeah.
just people are being
yeah.
hmm
discovered right from their phones. So
hmm
technology is definitely leveling the playing field and making it so that we have our own uh, television studios, media
hmm
companies in our pocket, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
And
right.
so it's all about how you use it, what you do with it, how creative are you, and how you're gonna
hmm
take advantage of these opportunities.
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So I was like I was telling the girls before I hit record that I've been really obsessed with this Quincy Jones documentary. It's kind of old, but it's still you still can learn a
It's
lot. And
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never realized how much of his how important he was to the music. I mean, it goes far back as Count
hmm
Basie and Frank
Yes.
Sinatra. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
it's
Yep.
really
Absolutely. Yep.
incredible, man.
hmm
And there's a part in the documentary where his daughter Rashida asked him like, how do you not let your ego
mm
deal with your art? Now, how do you not let that clash, right? And his response was he had a few responses, but the response that caught my ear was, "You dream so big that you don't let the ego interfere. You let it has to be that big. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you both the same question because you're a group, Allure, and Taj, you came from a group. Egos can get involved or whatever. So how do you not let that ego interfere with your art when you're going through, when it comes to like making an album and picking the songs and things like that?
Well, I have to say for us, the ego thing was never a problem because
Yeah,
we know how to humble each other either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
pretty
even
much.
still,
Right.
we're very much aware of who does what, who does it better, who's
Yeah,
great at this. We all know and we all play our positions, but we also, when it comes to the songs, we know our voices. So we can hear something immediately and go, that's Lolly. She should
right,
lead that.
Right.
Oh, that's Akisa. She
Yep.
should lead that. Oh, that's Aaliyah. She should lead that. So it's
right,
no like, no, I got to do it. I want to do it. It's none of that happening with us. One, I think a big part of it is because we grew up together. We know each other. And
right,
it's not a competition for us. It's about what's best for the group. It's not what's best for us as individuals. It's us as a whole. And that's
Right.
always been our way of thinking from
yeah,
the beginning. That's
Right.
always been our way
Yes.
of thinking. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. We've definitely always been a support system for each other. And
Yeah.
I think it honestly it got stronger when we disbanded and became a trio because
Okay.
that whatever Aaliyah just spoke of, although very true, it wasn't the same sentiment when it was a when we
oh,
were a
for
Right.
quartet.
right,
Right.
Okay.
And there was a lot going on. And I think that when you start to feel that things aren't elevating in the way that they should to, for the betterment of the group, then you have to figure out ways. And sometimes people tell them themselves, and if you exit,
Yeah.
you
hmm
start seeing that things are elevating in the proper way. So we started, experiencing those things that Aaliyah was talking about when we became a trio more because the support was always there, more so
Mhm.
within the three of us.
Right.
right,
And we
No
also, I
shade,
must
but it
say,
is what it is.
no, we also have to, we take a look at ourselves too, because everything is
Yeah,
not about the other person. Sometimes you have to take accountability for your part
for
in
yourself,
certain things and
exactly.
know when you're not being quite, when things are kind of wrong and you know that you're the one that's wrong. So you have
right,
to be able
Right.
to own those things. And that helps a lot for egos not to get involved. You have to
right,
put
Oh
those
yeah,
things, like you have to be able to step aside and really look at things and go, you know what? I could have done this better, or I could have approached this differently. And we
yeah,
find ways and we talk.
right.
So
Sometimes
it's
it's
yeah.
not
easy.
immediate. Sometimes it's not an
Right.
immediate fix, especially with
Hmm.
me, because I'm stubborn. So it's like sometimes you definitely got to sit back for a second. And it may be a day, two, maybe even a week. And then I'm like, all right, on this part, I can admit I was wrong, but you got to admit you were wrong on this part too. So we, like she said, we humble one another. And it's great that the dynamics is not a competition. Like
Right.
how
Yeah,
Quincy Jones said, like our dreams, like we tap into all of our talents, or we've had to. Like this industry showed us, like if you sitting there waiting for that next damn singing check or that, right, shame on you. So
Right.
we
yeah,
dove into so many different aspects, like exactly why we're part, we're vendors for the Board of Education and things like that, and just broadening acting, like just everything. So
yeah,
um as far as dreaming, yes, the sky is the limit. Like we don't
Yeah.
pigeonhole
yeah.
ourselves.
But I think I think
Sabotage.
it's also I think it's also difficult for like groups, and I'm sure Taj may be able to attest. But when you're in a group, the whole phrase "there's no I in team"
Right.
is
Hmm.
it
Mhm.
rings very true. It resonates with me because like even though we were four, now we're three. You guys were what, five? It was five of
Four.
y'all.
No, it's
It
It
was
four.
was it was
four.
it was
Four.
Four of
four.
them.
Hmm
Child, I'm 47, made my mind. But just in the respect of knowing that we're in a group setting, you can't forget that everybody has their own special purpose.
Right.
Like
Hmm.
Aaliyah said, we know what we bring to the table. So something that one of the other boys were lacking, Taj may have been more superior in. And that should be the thing that should elevate and balance
Right.
things out. And I think when you have that special bond to where you understand that there has to be a respect factor more than anything. Because if you don't respect each other, where is it gonna go? You know?
Right.
And that's when you kill the whole egotistical, you know,
Right.
aspect
That
of it
throws it
all.
out the
So
window.
oh
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it goes
Mhm.
completely out the window.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's a good
Yeah.
mindset to have because there are a lot of groups that don't have that mindset where one person. But
Yeah.
yeah, Taj, what's your take on it, brother?
I mean, I would say it's two things. It would be maturity, you know. Um,
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely.
you gotta all parties involved have to kind of have a certain level of maturity and you know, be comfortable with themselves as well, you know.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
and and kind of know what your values are as well too, you know? So it's like, what am I in this for? You
Yeah.
know, really?
Right. Yeah.
Am I in this for the right reasons? Am I doing this
Exactly.
for the right reasons? Because a lot of times people are it's not really about the music, it's not about the art, it's not about the expression. It's about other things that motivate people to get
Mm-hmm.
involved in the music industry. It might be the fame. They
Mm-hmm.
want to be, recognized and it's about the perks, that come with fame and recognition. It's about, money and monetary concerns and things like that. So a lot of times there's other motivations that come in and kind of poison the well, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so you kind of got to be clear on what your values are, what your true motivations are, and that's what's going to keep you grounded and focused on the goal, and
Yeah,
keep your
Yeah.
definitely.
ego from stepping in and derailing things or sabotaging things, because it's
Yeah.
self-interest that comes in and sabotages things every time, but if
That
you
Absolutely.
part.
are
Today, I didn't even
Right.
have to go to
Yeah.
church. Child.
Mm-hmm.
you know
Right.
yeah,
Good
so
stuff.
it's like, when you're seeing the bigger picture and you're seeing how all the pieces fit together,
Mm-hmm.
then that gives you an opportunity to not be in your ego, because you see the bigger picture and you value each piece of the puzzle,
Mm-hmm.
and so you're able to kind of work together with others harmoniously. So that's what I would say. Those two things are the main things.
Speak,
Yeah.
sir. Speak.
Agree. Agree.
Great answer.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Just to
real.
piggyback off that, because I'm a fan of all of you guys, but I was wondering, like, with Taj, what when you say that, what do you think? What quality do you think each of you guys bring to the group? I'm just curious on what you think.
Uh, Man, I would say let's start with the oldest, Kyrie. He brings leadership. He brings vision. You know, Hakeem, he brings innovation, creative genius, uh, star power. You know. I think I brought some vocal um, vibes in there, and also, you know, yeah, I would say vocals for the most part. That's probably like a secondary lead singer. I think Hakeem would probably be, you know, identified as the lead singer. I was probably like the secondary lead singer. And so, and then Bilal, he brought just cuteness, you know.
Bilal was cute.
He brought cuteness, to the table. So,
Right on.
That's
Well,
adorable.
I can ask you guys the same question. What do you guys think you guys bring to your group?
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's funny.
It's a
Um,
couple of
It's a
things. We
lot.
wear
Yeah,
many
it's
it's
a
a
lot.
couple of
hats.
things, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I have to agree with what Tasha. Like I feel like we all know when we can provide leadership, right? I think we all
mm,
have our strong points when needed. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, I think when things get a little bit too tough and things get a little bit overwhelming, I think I play a huge part in trying to bring light of a situation because I like to joke about
Yeah.
everything. I like to bring laughter into things and try to be a light of some sort when things feel dark. Because I never want to see anybody down. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, Even when it's dark over here, I'm like, I gotta shed some light over here. So I think that's one of my strong points. Um, I think with Aaliyah, she's always been very powerful in how she attacks situations. Like, when things are crazy, she's the one that's like, okay, enough. Stop it.
Very organized.
Let's get
Very
serious. Very
organized.
organized. Yeah, very organized. Very,
She's very
you
much
know,
a
there's a
thinker.
time and a place for everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
She
absolutely.
definitely. Now, if we had to do the family
Vocals,
structures, go ahead.
yeah.
Vocals for sure.
Vocally, this girl up because I'm seeing up here is like the
Yeah,
Brady Bunch
she
right now.
played to me too.
Aaliyah, Aaliyah has always, Aaliyah has always been like the Ursula of
Not
like
the
getting.
Ursula.
No, I'm just saying, as not even like in an evil way. I'm just saying, like she's very, when it comes to like, especially vocally, she's always been so like her pitch is crazy. She hears everything, even when we know that we're wrong or we don't think we're wrong. She's like, no, this is what it is. She's like, she puts everything into place for me. You know what I mean? That's how I've always seen it. Um, with La, it's always been the same thing, kind of like me. Like she's very childlike, but very at the same time complex. So we all kind like she said earlier, we all lead in our own, special ways, but there's times where we all have to nip each other in the bud, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When it comes to certain
Yeah.
situations. So, and as girls, it's different. I don't know how it was with with the guys, but as girls, it's a little bit more complex than it is,
I know
Yeah,
with guys.
I'm definitely more of the nagger and the one that stays on top of things. I think it's my ADHD because my mind always races. So I'm always thinking of something. I'm like, yo, it's somebody's birthday. We got to do that. When we gonna do that video? Did we go back to that? We can throw that song away. We got to get back. Yo, are we getting back in the studio with this person? So I'm that person that's
Yeah.
constantly like,
Yeah.
and they're like, all right, slow down.
Right.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys realize this or not, but you guys, all of you guys have like a common link. Do you know what it is?
What's that? That we were all signed to MTA?
Well, yeah, I didn't even think about that. That was a good one. But I was
Right? You guys were signed to MTA, right? You guys were signed to MTA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
originally
okay,
we signed to MCA, and then
yeah, we were like
when
years
MCA
later.
bought Motown, we moved over to Motown.
Right.
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 But what was it, Emmanuel?
Wait,
What
what
are you
was
gonna say?
it?
What's the common
Yeah.
link?
it was the King of Pop. So like, Corey Rooney, who
Oh,
helped on All Cried Out.
yeah.
He worked with Michael Jackson. The boys worked with Michael Jackson on Moonwalker.
Yes.
Right.
So
One of my
common
favorites.
link.
Oh, but theirs is more of a connection. They were
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
with us. Not,
We're
yeah,
like
we
6 degrees of
Aaliyah,
yeah.
separation.
I just got to talk
Aaliyah
to
got
on
to
the
speak to him over the
phone.
phone.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
Her
more 6
conversation
degrees
was
of
everybody's
separation.
conversation. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Doing research and everything like that. A question that kind of popped in my head because it made me think of a childhood memory. Moments in life where like a song comes your way, and the music has always been around the house, like in my house or whatever. But there was like a specific moment in my life where like I stopped what I was doing, and it kind of pierced my heart. You know what I mean? Where it was like, oh man, this is something special, and it was you're gonna laugh. It was the Greatest American Hero, the theme song. It was on TV.
Oh my
and,
God, it
and,
makes me
and
cry to this day.
I stopped what I was doing. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then it was over. It was like, wow, what's this feeling? You know what I mean? So I wanted to know, like,
I can
Believe
relate.
it or not.
yeah,
Right.
Walking
I'm
on
walking
air.
on
I
air.
never thought
beautiful.
I can be so free. That
Yeah,
was my
Man.
that was
jam.
iconic for
Yeah.
everybody, I think.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
That and
That
the Hulk theme song makes me cry to this day. To
The
the
this day.
Hulk.
Hulk.
The
The
Hulk.
Hulk theme song?
When
Well,
it used to go
not the
off.
theme
No,
song
it was
when he
just
goes
music.
when
When it
When
goes
he
at
off,
the
I would
end.
get
Oh my
sad. I would really,
God.
yeah, I would
Oh
get
Yeah,
my
sad.
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Or even like the theme song, the Taxi.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I
You
didn't like that. I didn't like
didn't
that.
like it?
I didn't like it. I did
You
Man,
not.
know
that
which one I
But
hated? I hated
Mash.
MASH.
Yeah,
Oh my
Mash and
God.
Taxi. I was like,
well,
Yeah.
Matt.
I
no.
like Taxi though.
Taxi was
Taxi was
cool.
cool. Taxi was
Mash,
cool.
nah.
So
Hated
what was
it.
it for you guys? Like what song was it for you guys that you like it kind of stopped you in your tracks? You're like, oh my gosh.
So wait, as far as theme songs are concerned, or just
Or just
songs in
It could
music,
general?
like
be,
the.
it just happened to be a theme song for me, Also the
Yeah,
Alf themes. Have you ever listened to the Alf theme song? The
yeah,
original one?
Not
Ouch.
the
Man, that
oh.
thing rocks. But
yeah.
the bass line.
Uh,
The bass line.
um.
I
Boom, boom,
think that's a
boom,
whole show
boom,
right
boom,
there of
boom.
like
It is.
Yeah,
Right.
going through all the iconic theme songs of all the
Yeah.
TV
Right.
shows and stuff. That's a
Right.
yeah.
We
whole
be here
show right there.
forever. Right.
Oh,
Yep.
for
Yep.
sure. For sure.
Seriously,
So,
yep.
so what was it for you guys? Like that kind of
Um.
stopped you in
Wow.
your tracks. You're like, whoa, this is something special. This is not just music. This is,
I
yeah.
mean, everybody's gonna think mine is so weird, but that was the song that helped my family, like my mom and my dad, realize that oh, she can hold a note, and it was from Popeye.
Yeah.
Popeye, the
The
song
movie?
for the town. Yeah, Popeye the movie, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
The song
Mhm.
Sweet Haven. That was their
Sweet
like town
Haven,
song,
yep.
Sweet Haven, Sweet, Sweet Haven. And that was my first song where I was like singing it for my parents to go, hey, hey, hey. she has a voice. And I was little, but Sweet Haven was my like that was my I love
Yeah.
music. That was my, introduction to me loving music to actually sing it,
Hmm.
myself. Actually singing the
Yeah.
songs myself. Yeah. Mhm.
Wow. What about you,
Lolly, you
La?
could go. I'm still thinking.
Um, okay, so this is the earliest memory I have where I knew music moved me, and I had no idea because I don't know why I was singing this to myself in the mirror and crying. It was Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight. And I had like two boyfriends in kindergarten, so I don't know which one was leaving. But I knew
It
it
wasn't
was
going nowhere.
something powerful. Like at that moment, I knew something was powerful with music.
Mm.
Like, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah.
I think for me, the first time as a kid, I think I was probably like 4 or 5, maybe five, 6. The first time I saw Annie when she was
Nice.
singing up in the orphanage, the part where she's like, maybe far away or maybe just goodbye. That song used to rip me to shreds, and I didn't know
Yeah.
why. I think because in my mind, I'm like, I've always been so big on family. Like my family is very music oriented. We're strong in a lot, in a lot of ways, but I just never wanted to picture myself being an orphanage, I guess. or or not even just being an orphan, but just like, I can never imagine my life being without my family or like
Family.
people
Right.
that are close to me. So like when she sang that song, I remember I sang it one time and my mom was like, wait a minute, like you actually sound good. What's going on? And I think from that point on, it was just like, I mean, I always have music around me, but that was like the one thing
Yeah.
that made me say like, I want to do something like this one day. That
Yeah.
song
You
in
don't
particular. Yeah.
you don't even understand. I love that movie, Annie. Like I watch it
Yeah.
like yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. At this
Yeah.
Big,
big
big
old age.
lizards.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I, I watched it. I watched it 2 days ago with my granddaughter, with Savannah, for the first time, and she was like peeled. She's like, and she's dancing. I'm like, yeah, I got her. So
Oh
she's another
yeah.
music buff. Yeah, she's in it to win it for sure.
Right on. What about you, Taj?
Man, it's so many. It's so many, man. I mean, uh, I would say definitely. I mean, some of the same ones you guys have. Like Annie for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely anything from Off the Wall.
Uh,
oh,
Anything from off that
absolutely.
album.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
Mm.
that's just it's a feeling, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
hmm,
Yeah.
Definitely Minnie Riperton,
Hmm.
Back Down Memory Lane, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Some of those
yeah,
songs.
Yeah.
Um, Anything from Al Green for sure. Uh, Let me see what else. Anything from the Cool It Now album as
yeah,
well too.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, anything from over there,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
Definitely. Other day I was in the car and I put on Delicious by New Edition. And that's like
Wow.
one
Oh
of
wow.
a little,
The right,
it's one of
yeah,
those low key songs
right.
that a lot of people don't know about, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But it's just got a feel for me. Like it brings back a feeling of like a time of when I
Yeah.
remember I used to listen to that, hardcore.
Yeah.
Um, so, those type of things, you know what I'm saying? Like music, that's why music is so powerful, is because it connects you with a feeling, it connects you with memories, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
yeah,
and it can bring you back into that time, into
Yeah.
that feeling of that memory. And
yeah,
so, yeah, it's so many, it's so many.
yeah. I have to say something. I have to say something real, real quick because I
Mm.
believe in giving people their flowers. But honestly, like down my heart, to this day,
Okay.
even at 47, like I play it, my daughter plays it. That
Yeah,
was
we
one of the songs
definitely
that we used
play
to always run it to the ground.
it. We
It was
did.
because when you think about relationships, like, and wanting the attention of somebody and whatever the case was, like we were in here with the choreography. You couldn't tell us nothing,
Yep.
nothing.
That's what's up.
Like to this day. So I just want to say I appreciate you for your contribution because it was
Yes.
definitely big.
Thank you.
If
Thank
yeah,
you, thank you, thank you.
absolutely.
And I just want to mention a few honorable mentions because Kiss and I we talked about this stuff all the time.
Yeah.
The read along books like Pete's Dragon, Frankie the
Yeah.
Fireman. Um,
Oh,
all those the little engine that could
You going deep
engine.
in your bag, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man, like
uh-huh.
even there were moments and I'll never forget this. I We all grew up with Nintendo. When I beat Mega Man 3 for the first time, there is and throughout the whole game, beautiful music when both Mega Man games. But when you beat
Yeah.
the game, there's this certain thing that happens, and it brought me to tears as a kid. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I never beat the
And
game,
Mm,
so I don't know that.
man,
So I
Super
never.
game
Mario,
is
Mega.
that game
Uh-huh.
is
Yeah.
yeah.
tough.
A
Yeah,
lot of that video game music and stuff like all that stuff is iconic, man. We
Yeah.
grew up on
Yeah.
that stuff.
Absolutely.
It's just
Yeah.
like
Nostalgia.
incredible stuff, man.
Hmm.
oh
Yep. I
yeah.
was,
Yeah.
you know, what was another low key gem that I think people forget about by Michael Jackson. I was watching the other day is from Captain EO, Another Part of Me.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
Man,
just
doom, doom,
Yeah.
another
doom.
part of me. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's our joy.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
still
Yo.
discovering
Just
stuff.
another part of
I'm
me.
still
That's my,
discovering stuff
oh my God.
Michael and his brothers made. I'm a fan of Michael's, but I'm still discovering stuff like the low key stuff. I'm like, whoa,
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael did
yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Even when the History album came out, that song Stranger in Moscow. Psst,
Yeah. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yeah.
great song.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome.
In a small way by the Jackson 5. Craziness.
Definitely.
I
Yeah.
never heard of
Like
that.
if
Mine
What?
and
is
like
the. Go ahead, Keith. Sorry.
no, he was I was just saying like if you can't feel in a small way, you don't have a heart. Like for
Yeah.
real.
Okay, I need to
Mine for
listen to that.
me is their song it was actually written and produced by for the Silvers, and it's called Big Boy.
Big boy.
Like
Yeah.
before they were even signed to Motown. I love that's like one of my favorite Jackson 5 songs. It's
Yeah.
called Big
Let me
Boy.
write that. So Big Boy. And what
Big
was the other
Yeah.
Boy.
one?
But these are songs that people don't really talk about, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
To get lost with the top,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
chart topping songs.
Hmm.
Uh, so my friends and I had a discussion about how like entertainment nowadays is different because there's so many subgroups and fandoms versus back in our time. It
Mm-hmm.
was
Right.
more like the big three. Everybody liked Michael, everybody liked Prince, everybody liked Madonna for the most part, right? So
Hmm.
the question I have for you is like, do you think the internet and how it is and the way it works and how things are coming out like boom, 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 do you think it has hurt the industry more than it's helped the industry or what?
Hmm.
Okay. I used to struggle with this and I used to say, oh, technology is like the worst thing that ever happened to the industry. And I had to take a step back and I said to myself, every generation, the
Mm-hmm.
generation before said, my time was better because, or my
Mm-hmm.
time was better because we did it this way. But I realized, you have to evolve. And if for
Yeah.
this generation, this is what works for them, I don't want to like take it from them. Like if this is what works for them to get on, to do what they do, to put out the music, we might not totally enjoy everything about it, but for
Right.
Mm-hmm.
them, this is what helps
It
them,
works.
then
Yeah.
you know what? It works for them and God willing, it keeps going and it's just going to keep evolving. There's always going to be a change. There's always going to
Right.
be a
Right.
change. So I just think every generation before they just have to be willing to teach the next generation.
The next
Like,
generation. Right.
right. Instead of kind of
And
like
then,
beating them down for what they're doing. Because,
Right.
that's a thing. So I had to realize, you know what? This is a good thing for them. It might not be my
Yeah.
thing, but for them, this is good. So keep
Yeah.
at it and just try to just respect the ones that came before you when they do
Right.
try to drop jewels and give you knowledge. Respect
Yeah.
it and then take that and use it for what you're doing now.
right.
But I think also from what Aaliyah just said, it's also more so that we came from an era where we didn't have anything as far as technology was concerned. It was just
Yeah.
like hard work. You go, you show up, you sing, you perform, you do whatever. But I think it's just a little bit more easier not for anybody to just get online and be an artist, whether we think they're an artist or not. There's just more of a clear pathway to
Yeah.
you know
More
to just get out.
opportunities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's more opportunity to just get out there and just say, oh, I'm an artist and I have this EP, I have this album, listen to it. Back
Right.
then, we needed the machines to say, no, this is promotion. You had your stickers, you had the street teams, you had all these things. So
Mm-hmm.
Right.
now it's just it's a little bit more simpler. Yeah,
Also to also piggyback on what the two of them said, if you think of our era, we're 70s babies. Like we grew up, there were no computers. Like we went through the whole phase of respecting the craft for what it was, and then
Right.
also seeing it kind of turn into what it is today, where
Yeah.
anyone, any age, as long as you have a phone, and
Right.
it can be done as well. So it was hard for us to find that happy medium to where we're not sharing every nook and cranny of our lives, or we don't have to feel the pressure
Mm.
of, oh, go live, oh, show the baby Mr. Tube, oh, like whatever it is, because it is a lot of pressure for people to be in your business. Back in the day, if we did our dirt, we did our dirt. If the tabloids weren't there, no one saw it. If
You
someone
just
didn't
missed it.
mention
Yeah.
it, so I mean, we came from an era where I'm sure Taj can relate as well. Like, as far as going from there being no social media, there being no computers, from it going from a little game where there's one dot going back and forth to the dynamics of how these games are today that my son plays. So yeah, it's just us
Yeah.
finding our happy medium, and still being authentic to ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Word. Word. Well, Taj?
Um, well, I think probably the difference between now and then is like they said, technology wasn't really around like that back then. And so the music industry was more curated, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you had um people were more invested in the artist at that time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because
Yes.
there were like defined styles, and like a particular artist had their own style, their own
Mm-hmm.
voice. Like when you hear that their voice, oh,
That's so
that's
and so.
Michael, or
Right.
that's
Right.
Prince, or that's Anita Baker, or that's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, because technology gives everyone the ability to kind of like jump in and just kind of put music out,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Right.
you know, the field is more saturated, and people are kind of, it's more like copycats, you know what I'm saying? People are like, everyone kind of sounds similar, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
hard to distinguish between artists. So it's like
Yeah.
people are more invested in styles rather than artists these
An
days.
artist. Yeah.
Like
Definitely.
I
I
agree.
can't, there's only a few that I can point out these days that I can say, okay, oh, that's this person, or that's that person. Like, oh, that's Drake, you know what I'm saying? Or that's, this person or that. And so I think it kind of gets watered down because you got so much music being released, and people are kind of like copy other people's pattern for success, and
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
and their voice,
Yeah.
their style, their, you know what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where it kind of dilutes, the listener from being able to distinguish one artist from the other.
Mm.
And so
Right.
that's why, stardom isn't really as uh
Right.
big as it used to be,
Yeah.
you
But
know?
it's
Yeah.
I'm glad that you said that, because it's like
Yeah.
our Halloween, you could be Michael Jackson, you could be Prince, you could be Madonna, like you could make that costume. Today, it's not really that easy for kids. Like there's no, I don't want to say idols, but like superstar where it's like you see
Or
that
like
and you
true
can actually
inspiration. Yeah.
emulate that
Yeah.
person through, it's not that at all. It
Yeah.
really isn't.
Right.
I mean,
And the
yeah.
respect for the star has diminished
Right.
because
And yes.
everybody is, you know what I'm saying? Everybody is
Yeah,
a
everybody's a star.
potential aspiring
Everybody's
star,
a
you know what
star.
I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
Everybody's
like,
a star.
It's funny when
That's
he asked,
true.
when Emmanuel asked Taj earlier about the pros and cons of like living in LA and stuff. We used to always say when we first visited
Yeah.
LA,
Oh,
we
we
were like,
visited it.
everybody's a star, even the bums.
Yeah.
Like out there, everybody just had like this aura where it was like
Yeah.
you said, we would walk by a homeless person, but they was very bougie about it. Like, yeah, I'm homeless and give me $10. Like, they're like, sir,
Like, what?
I need you to calm
$10?
down. Yeah,
Right.
like what? But there
Yeah.
was just this, there was just this vibe that no one could do wrong in LA. But I think
Right.
we have the same type of vibes in New York too. Like you go to Times Square and you see the naked cowboy, you see this new creepy guy with the clown mask and his pelvic bone showing. And I'm like, dude, why is this a thing? But
Mm.
anybody can do anything at this point, and you don't
Right.
really have to like show too much effort for it. And it's kind of
yeah,
crazy.
everybody's an aspiring star, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
it
Absolutely.
makes stardom like
Yeah.
So
nothing
what?
Yeah.
now, you
Like
know
it
what I'm
means
saying?
nothing. Yep.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, absolutely. What were you about to say, La?
No, I was about to say, yeah, that's why, yeah, it's muddy out here.
That was money.
Muddy though. Yeah.
But I wanted to know you guys' like take on it's your guys' view on AI because like for me it's really bizarre. You could type in something and it's like Drake, Michael Jackson sings a Drake song or whatever. And I feel like, we as human beings, we're meant to create as an outlet. So it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
weird to have a machine do it. And then on top of that, it's taking money from people, I mean,
Actual
overall,
artists.
beyond the
Yeah.
music industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
talking about the entertainment industry as a whole. So I wanted to know, I mean, what really frightens me is that some people are just accepting this as gospel and this is the way it's supposed to be. And I wanted to know your take on it because you guys are all musical artists.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um,
Um,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
love.
No, I was just gonna say that I feel like every 20 years, history repeats itself. So, I mean, it's gonna get back to a point where it's just gonna be authentic. You just have to be authentic. You just have to have a personality. A computer doesn't have a personality, and I think it's like it can do but so much. Like I'm sure it will take jobs here and there, which is unfortunate. But at the same token, it's going to be redundant, and we are nosy people. We need to, our attention spans as we've gotten older, especially with social media and the internet and things like that, we're easily not distracted but become bored. So
Hmm.
I, even if it's here for now, I don't think it's going to be a big thing for long. um
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I just feel like it's another level of impersonation. Like, there's a friend of ours that we all know. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want people to think that he's out here sabotaging people's lives. But he sent me a video of something that he wrote, like a rhyme that he wrote,
Yeah.
and it was to one of our songs. But he started rapping, but it was his voice into the computer, and he sounded just like Biggie, and it
Oh,
freaked me
wow.
out. And the only reason why that freaks me out is because, like I said, it's just another level of like you have people that can impersonate somebody, but when it starts, this AI thing is getting very dangerous because now it's
Yeah,
affecting
that's the
people's
thing.
lives. You can call someone and literally wipe out somebody's whole bank account
oh, the
as long as you
scam.
sound like that person.
That's
That's
true, the
why,
scam.
yeah, that's why I don't like this whole like, oh, speak your voice and then we'll detect you when you call. Sir, no, just put your number in and that's it. Like, I don't like the fact that somebody can actually just take your voice and use it for whatever. Like, you can use that to like really destroy somebody's lives, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's fun at all. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
it's
think
kind of
it's
creepy.
very scary.
Yeah,
Leah?
Yeah, I can only hope that it doesn't like stick around, but I just think like Akisa said, it just takes away from talent. Like it just really take like, okay, so you're gonna make an AI record. So that's somebody that sounds like so and so, but when it comes to the show, what's gonna happen? Who are we
Right.
paying
right.
to see? Who's that
Yeah,
person on the AI voice? Like I just think it's gonna become something that's boring. I think what's gonna happen is people are just going to use it to be able to do harm to people. I don't think it's gonna be a thing where it's like
right.
a popular thing where people are gonna be like, yeah, the AI album. I don't see that. I don't think
Yeah,
I'll be very surprised if that's what happens. And I can only hope
Mm,
that it doesn't.
I
yeah.
hope
But
not
then again,
either.
that always goes with gimmicky stuff. So like any gimmick, I think
It
seems
is
to
what it is.
thrive. Yeah, it
Yeah.
seems to thrive
Oh
more than
man.
actual talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Tosh?
Uh, yeah, I agree with the girls and what Aaliyah just said. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a cool fad for right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's a cool tool to play with.
Right.
Um, but I don't really see. Or let me say this. With technology, uh, this technology is going to continue to evolve and we have to evolve with it,
Yeah.
and learn how to work with it, and not against it, But I think that it can only go so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like the girl said, there's it there's only so far you can go with that, with
Right.
putting, you're rapping something or singing something and putting it in somebody else's voice. Yeah, you can't go, what I'm saying,
Right.
perform that
Performance.
live or whatnot. But yeah, you can have some fun and create some cool content with it, some cool songs. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like fantasy football or whatnot. Like
Mm-hmm.
what what would this sound like? You know what I'm saying?
Right. If
If you
someone so
mix
Yeah.
sang it,
Biggie with
yeah.
Michael Jackson, or if you
Right.
mix Tupac with, Whitney Houston or something like that,
Right.
and we can explore those possibilities with this type of technology, and it's fun. It's just a fun thing. But I think that it's never going to trump human creativity,
Yeah.
and authenticity and soul,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yep.
Taj, how can people reach you? And I know you have a new single out called Go. And how can people, yama yama yama.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm most active on Instagram, but I'm on YouTube. I'm on let's see, Instagram. I'm on my music is on all the music platforms, but my Instagram is kingtaj.media, and that's where you can find me. And there's a link tree in my bio there. You can click on that and see all the other links to all the other stuff as well, to all my
Okay.
music and my book. I wrote a book a couple years back, a young adults book. And so I mean, it's all there. It's all there. You can find me there. And yeah, that's what's up. And thanks for
Right.
having me on, y'all. I had a great time.
Oh, it
Great
was so nice
Yeah.
conversation.
meeting
It was
you.
nice meeting you finally.
Pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah, likewise,
And have
likewise,
a safe flight.
likewise.
Have a safe
Yes.
Yeah, be
flight.
safe,
Oh
definitely.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not flying. I'm going to
Oh,
take
you're
my brother
not?
to the airport.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
okay.
Okay.
flying.
Well,
Okay.
pray
Okay.
that he
Well,
has
Yeah.
a
same to
safe
him.
flight and
Yeah.
all right.
Hmm.
Yes, thanks for being a part of the show, brother.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
My
and
pleasure.
ladies, I know you guys have a upcoming a podcast called Gag. And also, how can people reach you, and when will that be
Well, we
released?
we just started getting back into the flow of creating segments and stuff for the podcast. So people should start, getting ready to see that soon. You can follow us on Instagram, official Allure 97. Facebook is Allure Live. We're still revamping our Facebook page, but we're also on YouTube as well, official Allure. TikTok as well, official Allure 97. And we're just, just trying to like create content, and we're still touring, we're still making music, we're still,
Definitely.
like Lolly said, we're tapping into acting and stuff now, so we're doing a lot with that. But yeah, Gag, grown ass
Yeah.
girls. This is the podcast.
Definitely.
We've been having a lot of fun with this, so we can't wait for you guys to like hear the
Yes.
To see it.
conversations
Yeah.
and see what's
Absolutely.
to come. Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
And AI can't do that.
at
Right.
all.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's
At
a
all.
fact. The
Exactly. Well,
podcast, the podcast is on what, like Spotify or something, or YouTube?
We're working on all that. So we will be reaching out to
Okay.
you.
Yes,
Oh
Yes.
we can
yeah,
have you on
yeah.
the
Hit me
show.
up.
Okay.
Hit me up. I'm with it. I'm with it.
That's
Let's do
cool.
it.
That would be
Send
dope.
our
Yep.
Yeah.
love. We
Dope.
are true fans. So
Yeah, seriously. So
Let's
please
do
go the
it.
boys. Yeah,
I would love that.
absolutely.
right on. But hey guys, thanks again for being on my show, and thanks for your time. I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. And thanks guys for your time. Oh gosh,
Absolutely.
rest in peace to Matthew Perry. That's crazy.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And
Yeah.
Yes.
Richard
Yeah.
Mall in the same week.
Yeah.
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 Nuts.
That hurt
And
my
no,
heart
Richard,
yesterday when
Richard
that
Mall and Richard Roundtree too. So
Richard
Yes.
Roundtree. Yeah.
Richard
mm,
Roundtree.
Jesus.
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
nuts.
Just
Um,
everybody, just please be safe, eat well, whatever.
Take
Like,
care of
oh my
yourself.
God.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your time. I really love you guys and
take
appreciate
We
care.
the
love you
time.
too.
Love you.
The hog.
Good
Gotta
meeting
go.
you, Taj. Tell your
Bye,
It
brothers
was a
Mama
Ty.
pleasure.
say.
Yes.
Peace, y'all.
Thank
Awesome.
you.